Hello, everybody. It's Charlie again, and I'm currently playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on the ps5. And this would be another replay review of one of my favorite games. Even though it's not perfect, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, I think you should get this game. But yeah, other than that, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my review of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And as you can see, this game is amazing. Honestly, when it first came out, obviously it's more made towards fans. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's a very fan-made game. So if you've never watched Dragon Ball Z and you never cared to do anything about it, or maybe check out the episodes, this is not gonna change your mind. But I think it's a pretty good game. When it came out, I think I gave it around a 7. I think a 6.5 out of 10. But now that it's on PS5, the PS5 version, the loading screens are damn near gone. And so another thing that the game has that's pretty amazing that I really enjoy, aside from the quick load screens, is the fact that you can alternate between so many characters of your classic. Obviously it's the main characters, it's not everybody, but the ones that are not main characters are assist characters, and they all have their own moves, their own, style finishers. They also have team-up moves that I really enjoy. As you can see right here, I'm playing with 3 of them, and yeah, it's an all-around fun game, good wholesome game really, of the world of Dragon Ball. As you can see, very colorful world. You can go fishing, Goku likes to fish with his tail, classic stuff, classic locations. Obviously the full story of Dragon Ball Z is here, which is amazing, from beginning to end. So if you want to know about Dragon Ball Z, you can play through this whole game. Obviously this is Goku as an adult. There's 3 parts to Dragon Ball, and it's Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball GT is like an Elseworld world story, and I don't recommend it, okay? I don't really care for Dragon Ball GT. I know some people like it. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not one of my main, things to watch. But aside from all that, the game itself, the gameplay is really fluid, really good. In my opinion, better than Xenoverse. No offense to you Xenoverse fans. I know Xenoverse has their own, community, but I do have both Xenoverse games, so it's not like I'm just talking shit. But I just prefer this game more. Even though it's not like an online multiplayer game, it's so much more fun. There's large areas. Obviously it's an open world game, but it's not completely open world, okay? Don't get me wrong. It is an open world game in the sense that it has large parts that you can travel to. But now that there is no load screens, or barely any time between loading, it makes the game so good. I mean, it's so smooth at 4K 60, and everything just kind of changed. It does have classic enemies from the show in here that you can talk to. You can even take moves from them. You can train with and stuff like that. Or different things like challenges and stuff, like for the flying. And some people made fun of it because it's like Superman 64. It's not like Superman 64, trust me, okay? You do go and find these ores, but to me it's fun because I've always wanted to like fly around in the, Dragon Ball Z world. And this game gives you that opportunity. Obviously we have Vegeta here fighting. They have all of his moves. Vegeta is my favorite Dragon Ball Z character, in case you guys didn't know. Goku is always going to be second to Vegeta. I do like the human fighters as well, like Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. They're support characters here, so they are available. You just can't play with them. And obviously, like you can see, there's classic enemies from the first show and the second show. But it's also the fact that you can fight underwater, fight above the earth. Like, it's so freeing. The areas are very large, guys. And what can I say? Like, the game offers just the feel, and like I said, it's a fan-made game. Really, it's for fans, guys. But if you've never played Dragon Ball Z, try it out. At least, well, it's not gonna hurt, I don't recommend buying this at full price, obviously, because this game has been out for quite a while. But I know it goes on special very often, so you don't have to worry about that. As you can see, they do have the flashbang and basically the final flash attack. They have the big bang attack. I said flashbang, I don't know why. I guess I'm so excited to talk about this game. It's kind of hard, because I'm a fan, so I'm very biased towards Dragon Ball Z. But I don't think everybody would enjoy this. you know. So now after I'm gonna give you, like I do in between my review, I give a rating, and my rating for now on for the PS5 version is an 8.5. Yes, it went from a 6.5 to an 8.5 in my opinion, because the game just feels so much better. Also, there's these like DLCs. Unfortunately, you have to buy them, but they go on special quite often. I played through, the only one I haven't played through is the two new ones, the Bardock special and the newest one that came out, Tournament 23 or something like that. It's based on the World Tournament 23. I will be putting those as well, but I did 100% this game. I do have a platinum in this game for obvious reasons, because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. But yeah, there's little areas like this, like the glaciers. Fans will recognize these areas, you know. That's basically what it is. Obviously, you can run pretty freaking fast. You can jump pretty freaking high. If you don't want to fly, for whatever freaking reason you want to run, you can do that. You know, you can go underwater, and there's other things aside from the fishing mini game and stuff like that. The dialogue, it references stuff from the show from back in the day, so it's leaning on a lot of that story driven stuff. There's also stuff in between that you've never seen in Dragon Ball Z that it's kind of explained here in a very comical way. I mean, it's just amazing. It's like a Dragon Ball Z Wonderland, really. And yes, they do have some of Dragon Ball Super, because part of Dragon Ball Z at the end of Dragon Ball Z, not the one that we saw back then, but the movies of Dragon Ball Z, there was them turning into gods, you know, Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which they later called Super Saiyan Blue. Obviously, what more can I say that's pretty cool? Well, there's characters that from the show that we've always wanted to play with and we really enjoy, like Piccolo, that are available to play. You can actually play with Piccolo. You can play with Trunks, which you guys will see the clips as they go through. Honestly, I think that an 8.5 is very fair now, the PS5 version. Shit, I wanted to go as far as giving it a 9, but I think I'm pushing it, you know, because I don't think the game suits everybody's taste. But in my opinion, yes, it's an 8.5. There is some shortcomings, like I wish the parts of the map were interconnected. That would be great, you know, if they could interconnect them. Or if I wish they had an update where they just connect everything together. I know some people don't care about that, but for me, it would be so amazing just to fly through the whole freaking map, you know, for whatever reason. I did play Budokai and games like that people still think are classics. I owned all of those games, the Budokai Tenkaichi games as well. But I think that this game really deserves more attention. I think people really overlooked this game because it had a lot of issues with like frame rates and stuff like that, which it no longer has now. So if you guys are just on the fence about it for many years and waiting, as you can see, is that Corn's plates, or he gets the senzu beans. In the game, you also get the senzu beans there. Obviously, you can travel outside of certain areas, which is like the land of the gods, you know, where Grand Kai and all those guys hang out. You can go to King Kai's planet, which you'll see eventually in the clips. There's so much in the game that'll remind you of the show. That's why I said it's very fan-oriented game. And yeah, you could do booster flying like that. You could like increase your flight. And this is a game that I played. Another thing, guys, you could call the dragon, okay? You can find the Dragon Balls around the world and call the dragon. You can find them with the, you know, dragon radar. And you also have this cool thing where you can sense people's power level, which is something from the show. And little touches like that is what make me really go, man, this game is so much fun, you know? It's like, it's interesting because the critiques that I heard when the game came out, it took me a little while to buy it because I was like, I hope this is not just playing through the story again. And it really isn't what you think. Now, it is in the game, but it's not just that, okay? It allows you to feel immersed in the Dragon Ball Z world, and I think that alone, like you see, he's in the land of the Kais there, that alone, you know, is worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because you do feel immersed, you know? As if you go, obviously, too up into the world, they ask you to there it is, the map. It opens up. Basically, you pick the part you want to go to, and each section is large, okay? There's very few sections that are tiny. Here is New Namek. So, where Piccolo's people eventually went on the show, if you guys don't know. There's a lot of spoilers in this review, I guess, if you never watched the show. But if you eventually do watch the show, and then it'll make you want to play this game, is what I'm saying. So it's a combo, basically, show game type thing, you know, if you do, because it'll kind of make you go, man, maybe the game isn't so bad. And then once you play, you realize if you really give it a chance, it might not be as bad as you think. Now, this game does have, like I said, negatives. Some of the negatives are that the game seems very confined in a lot of ways, you know. There is a limit. It's a very basic fighting system, guys. But if you really like Dragon Ball, it does make you feel like you're fighting in the Dragon Ball universe. But it's just very basic. There's not a lot of technical stuff, you know. It's right along the lines of, what would I say? Some of the older games, you know, even Xenoverse is very basic, let's be honest. It's not like Fighter Z, where you have all these combos and all that, so don't expect that. Or Fighters, it's really Fighters, but people say Fighter Z, whatever, you know. Dragon Ball, Fighter Z. Anyways, the point is that this particular game allows you to fight classic characters, but then it also gives you what-if stories, is what I was trying to say. So you do have a couple of what-if stories that never happened, you know, like if you play the DLC for Trunks, there's so many surprises in there that I don't want to spoil, because obviously I'm not going to. I do have that whole DLC on my channel if you want to watch through it and you don't feel like buying the DLC or buying the game for whatever, just so you can, you know, it takes care of your curiosity about it. But I think overall, the way they merge the moves, like there it is, you know, Special Beam Cannon, which is called Makanku Seppu in Japanese, and then you merge that with the Masenko. You know, you have the freaking Kamehameha. You know, along with all the classic moves, they're all in there, guys. And classic characters like Kami, you know, Piccolo's other half. And the way you interact with them, you see characters from really when Goku was a kid that remember him and are really happy to see him again. And things like that. Now, there in the cinematics, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of voice work from the original cast. The problem with this is that when you're doing side missions, there isn't any voice work. You know, I wish that they didn't make you read, and that's a bad habit that I've seen in many other games. I hope they change that, because I think that it would make games better if that wasn't a thing. You know, I think that people playing side missions would be even more immersed as well, you know, kind of like The Witcher 3 and stuff like that, where even the side missions get you going, you know, or Skyrim. You still feel that there's other stuff going on in the world. And there it is, Kinkai's Planet, of course. And it's pretty cool because you can run around. There's not much to do in Kinkai's Planet, but the fact that you can go there is cool. But yeah, I think that voice work needs to be done in side missions. I don't think that, I know it's a lot of work for actors, but I think that if they did that more often, people would buy the shit out of all these games. Okay, sorry guys. As you can see, I'm not in my room, or my office I should say, and I'm in the normal spot, because my damn monitor took a dump on me, unfortunately. It happens, you know, it only lasted a year. Don't buy cheap brands, is what I'm saying. So until I get that, then I'll be doing it in my room again, but for now, my living room is fine. I don't see the big deal. But anyways, Master Roshi's place is also in the game. Master Roshi is a character in the game. Sadly, most of the conversations you have with him that are outside of the CGI moments are done through text, and you have to read it. And that's some of the shortcomings about the game that I wish. They just make noises while you're reading, you know. But overall, you know, like the design of it, the graphics, obviously Trunks is part of the cast. For, you know, well, future Trunks is. Chibi Trunks is also, but he's a support character. But obviously most people want to play with future Trunks, let's be honest. Unfortunately, there is no Super Saiyan Rage in the game. I thought it was going to be an add-on eventually, but that's more of the, you know, Dragon Ball Super side of the whole thing. So I understand why they didn't add it. But the fact that, you know, and a lot of people ask, so why is Dragon Super Saiyan God in here and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan? Well, it's because they did the movies and they were still Dragon Ball Z technically, you know? Even though the show also has part of those movies told in a different way. That's very confusing. I know Dragon Ball is confusing. But I think that they should add some of those transformations. I'm sure Xenoverse probably added them as DLC because Xenoverse has been milking people for a very long time. I jumped out of that train a while ago because I feel like Xenoverse 3 is never going to come out. Like they talked about it, and then this game came out, and then Fighter Z came out, and I was like, okay guys, no Xenoverse 3 because they're making so much money from Xenoverse 2, which is fair. But here Goku is going back home, as you can see. Yeah, you can basically come here and get stat upgrades, like when you eat food and stuff like that from the stuff you caught or you found. You find fruits on trees and stuff like that. And yeah, Chi-Chi basically prepares a meal for you, but you have to get all the items together to form the dish. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just she just prepares whatever whenever. No, you have to get the items. So it's kind of cool little activity that you enjoy. But yeah, guys, my video here is coming to an end. Yeah, 8.5 ps5 version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, in my humble opinion. Okay, as a fan too, keep that in mind. But I did tell you some of the pros, some of the negatives. I know in the other reviews I didn't mention a lot of negatives because those games to me are 10 out of 10s. But this one, as a fan, even as a fan, I could say it's an 8.5 to be fair. But I do recommend it. Just try it out. You might like it, you know. I enjoy it every time I play it, even though I platinumed it. I still jump in sometimes just to experience the world. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe when you get a chance. And like I always say, go game.